Welcome to today's Explainer. We're taking a fascinating journey inside the human body today to uncover a hidden world you carry around with you every single day. We're talking about bone marrow. But I don't want you to just think of this as basic tissue. Instead, I want you to picture bone marrow for what it truly is, your body's ultimate 24/7 manufacturing plant. It's this incredible biological factory that never sleeps, never takes a break, and is absolutely vital to your survival.
So, let me ask you a direct question, one that might actually challenge what you've always assumed. Where does your blood actually come from? A lot of people, if they haven't thought about it too much, might guess that blood is made in the heart, because the heart pumps it. Or maybe the liver, since the liver filters it. But neither is true. Your blood doesn't come from those organs at all.
Millions. Now, what's really interesting about this is that in the exact second it took you to process that word on the screen, your body just produced millions of brand new blood cells. And it did all of this incredible, high-speed manufacturing inside the soft, spongy tissue hidden deep inside your bones.
To understand how this works, we are going to take a complete tour of this factory. We'll cover, first, the hidden blood cell factory, second, red versus yellow marrow, third, producing your blood cells, fourth, when bone marrow fails, and finally, transplants and restoring health.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the hidden blood cell factory. The anatomy of bone marrow.
So when you think of a bone, you probably picture something solid, dense, and, well, hard as a rock, right? But that's just the outer shell, the compact bone. Hidden away in the cavities inside is something entirely different. As our sources describe it, bone marrow is a spongy, soft tissue that resembles a jelly or jam that you would spread on toast. It's a really vivid image, isn't it? It completely contrasts with the hard outer bone we usually picture. This soft, living tissue, rich with blood vessels and cellular activity, is securely protected inside the armored vault of your skeleton.
So where exactly are these vaults located? Go ahead and kind of mentally map these locations on your own body right now. You'll find this factory operating in your pelvis, which, by the way, holds a massive amount of this tissue, as well as your sternum or breastbone, your ribs, your spine, your skull, the humerus in your upper arms, and the femur in your thighs. These central bones are the major manufacturing hubs keeping you alive.
Section 2, red versus yellow marrow, the two types of marrow.
It's important to note that not all factory floors in this skeletal plant look or function the exact same way. We actually have two distinct types of bone marrow, red and yellow. Red bone marrow is the active blood cell producer. Because kids have growing bodies that require rapid, continuous blood production, they've got mostly red bone marrow. But as we age, a lot of that red marrow gets gradually replaced by yellow bone marrow. Yellow marrow is primarily made of fat cells, and it acts as an energy reserve while also helping to develop bone, cartilage, and muscle.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how adaptable the human body is. If you ever experience severe blood loss and desperately need new blood cells, that yellow marrow can actually convert right back into red marrow to rapidly ramp up blood cell production in a crisis. Your body literally shifts its energy reserves back into emergency manufacturing mode. Pretty amazing.
Moving on to Section 3, producing your blood cells, the biological factory.
Let's look really closely at the actual workers on this assembly line. Everything on this factory floor starts with something called hematopoietic stem cells. These are the remarkable starter cells located in your red bone marrow. Every single blood cell pumping through your veins right now began its life as one of these incredible shape-shifting stem cells, dividing and maturing into exactly the specialized cell your body needed at that exact moment.
Let's walk through the crucial daily outputs of these stem cells. First up, we have red blood cells, which carry life-sustaining oxygen to every single organ. A shortage here leads to anemia and extreme fatigue. Next are white blood cells, your body's dedicated defense system against infections and harmful bacteria. If you lack these, you're going to suffer frequent infections. And finally, platelets, which form clots to stop you from bleeding. To give you an idea of the volume we're talking about here, your marrow produces billions of these tiny platelets every single day just to keep you safe from cuts and injuries.
So the crucial point is the sheer astonishing physical scale of this operation. You might think of bone marrow as just a little bit of tissue, but the average adult carries about 2.5 to 4 kilograms of it. That is roughly 6 pounds of living, breathing, manufacturing tissue spread throughout your skeleton. It is, by all accounts, one of the most sizable and important organs in your entire body.
Section 4, when bone marrow fails. Diseases and disorders.
What happens when this complex cellular machinery breaks down? Because this is a site of such rapid cell division, things can unfortunately go wrong. Take leukemia, for example. This is a blood and bone marrow cancer. You can kind of think of it as a hostile takeover of the factory floor. Mutated, abnormal white blood cells multiply entirely out of control, physically crowding out the healthy cells so normal production just can't happen.
Then there's aplastic anemia. In this condition, rather than a hostile takeover, it's more like the factory assembly line grinding to a dangerous halt. The marrow simply stops producing enough normal blood cells, which, as we know, starves the body of oxygen and basic immune defense.
We also see conditions like multiple myeloma. This is another form of cellular mutation. Here, the body produces abnormal cancerous plasma cells directly inside the bone marrow, severely disrupting normal healthy operations.
When you think about the crucial jobs these cells do, the symptoms of these marrow disorders make perfect logical sense. Because the factory isn't producing red blood cells, white blood cells, or platelets properly, patients experience bleeding or bruising easily, severe fatigue, frequent infections, and muscle weakness. A localized failure inside the bone literally impacts the entire body.
Let's move to and see how this builds into the way doctors actually diagnose these factory issues. They generally use two tests, performed under anesthetic so the patient doesn't feel pain. The first is a bone marrow aspiration, where a needle extracts fluid and cells to check their characteristics. The second is a bone marrow biopsy, where a slightly larger needle removes a solid piece of the spongy tissue to see exactly where and how many abnormal cells are present.
Section 5. Transplants and Restoring Health. Bone marrow transplants.
Now, when the factory is completely compromised, modern medicine has a way to reboot it. The bone marrow transplant, or stem cell transplant, is an absolute medical marvel. It happens in 3 steps. First, doctors collect healthy stem cells, either from the patient themselves before treatment or from a matching donor. Second, these healthy cells are infused directly into the patient's bloodstream. And third, and this is definitely the most incredible part, these new stem cells instinctively know how to travel through the blood, migrate into the bone cavities, settle in, and set up a brand new healthy manufacturing plant. Of course, for those of us with functioning bone marrow, it's vital to keep our factory healthy. You can actively support the components of your body that grow directly from your marrow by eating a diet rich in protein, things like lean meats, beans, and nuts. Make sure you're getting essential vitamins like iron, B9, and B12, and always work with your doctor to treat any underlying conditions. We've explored the hidden depths of your skeleton, mapped the factory floor, and seen the life-saving science of stem cell transplants. Your bone marrow is relentlessly working for you right now as we go through this explainer. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to reflect on. How will you fuel your body's incredible hidden assembly line today? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I hope it leaves you curious to learn even more about the amazing biology keeping you alive.